Welcome to RMTC-DHH's series on the high leverage practices for students with disabilities. In this video, we will be discussing the 14th high leverage practice from the CEC and CEEDAR centered publication, High Leverage Practices in Special Education. HLP 14 states teach cognitive and metacognitive strategies to support learning and independence. Cognitive and metacognitive skills are two different but similar skills. Cognitive refers to thinking skills such as processing information, memory, and problem solving. Metacognitive skills refers to the ability to reflect on and monitor our own cognitive processes, such as self-management, self-regulation, and self-monitoring. Essentially, it is thinking about your thinking. Students who are deaf or hard of hearing, DHH, may lack some or all of these skills due to communication and language access. As a result, different approaches to teaching these skills may need to be considered. There is a body of research that supports the need for explicitly teaching cognitive and metacognitive strategies to students who are DHH. There are two layers of problem solving when using strategies: applying a strategy to the problem and selecting and monitoring the effects of that strategy. For instance, if you are reading a text and come across a word you don't know, you may use decoding and context clues to figure that word out. This is the cognitive strategy. Then you will reread the sentence with the new definition of that word in mind to see if the sentence makes sense. In this scenario, the reader has to think about the definition, how it fits, and if it makes sense in the context. They are thinking about their thinking. This is the metacognitive strategy. Let's talk about some tips for teaching cognitive and metacognitive strategies to students who are DHH. Use visual supports. Since many students who are DHH rely heavily on visual information, incorporate visual aids like diagrams, charts, and graphic organizers to convey concepts and strategies. Explicit instruction. Be clear and explicit in your instruction. Break down complex strategies into manageable steps and provide examples to illustrate their application. Model the strategies. Demonstrate how to use cognitive and metacognitive strategies effectively. Model note-taking, summarization, problem-solving, and self-monitoring during class discussions. Model think-alouds to show students what's happening as you cognitively process information. Provide guided practice. Offer guided practice sessions where students can apply these strategies with your support. Gradually decrease your involvement as they become more proficient. Individualized approaches. Recognize that each student may have unique learning preferences, and their learning preferences may change depending on subject or content. Work with them to identify the strategies that work best for them individually. Encourage self-reflection. Promote metacognitive awareness by encouraging students to reflect on their own learning processes. Ask them questions like, what strategies helped you learn best? Or, how did you adapt your approach when faced with a challenge? Ask questions. Promote higher order thinking by asking students questions like, what do you think? Why do you think the strategy is the most effective? How do you know? Teach them how to think, not what to think. Use expanded skills. Florida's expanded skills standards have a number of standards that relate to cognitive and metacognitive thinking. For example, Standard 5.4b states, communicate with others in ways appropriate for the relationship, such as peers, authority figures in the school and community, and employers. Remember that teaching cognitive and metacognitive strategies to students who are DHH may require additional time and creativity, but with patience and effective communication, these students can develop these essential skills and thrive in both academic and social settings. We will leave you with this point to ponder. How will you select, implement, and monitor the use of cognitive and metacognitive strategies for students who are DHH? Come to the TA Live discussion to learn how your colleagues address this question and share your thoughts to collaborate together. Remember to check out additional resources in the Live Binder. You can access the Live Binder on the RMTC-DHH TA Live website or by going to the bit.ly/RMTC-HLP. Can't make it to the discussion session? Or perhaps you're watching a recording of this at a later time. An idea to still work within your district is to visit the Iris Center HLP Interactive Alignment Tool. This tool identifies which Iris resource provides information on each specific HLP. Where can you find information for the Iris Center? If you guessed the Live Binder, you are right. Remember, you can find that at bit.ly/RMTC-HLP. To watch more videos about the HLPs, make sure you check out the TA Live archive in our video library. Until next time, we'll see you around. The Resource Materials and Technologies Center for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing project is 73% funded through a grant from the U.S. Department of Education and administered by the Florida Department of Education. For the 2023 federal fiscal year, the total amount of federal grant funds awarded were $512,357. The remaining 27% of the costs were funded by the Florida General Appropriations Act.